couples lost their wedding deposits when Hacienda Sarria declared bankruptcy in late October. And many of those affected are threatening legal action if their money is not returned, according to the initial bankruptcy documents released by BDO Canada, the licensed insolvency trustee. The upscale wedding and event company operating as Hacienda Sarria claims they owe millions in debt. The only secured creditor identified, the one who will be paid back first, is Ron Doyle, the property owner and the visionary behind transforming the former sugar beet factory at Union Street into the Hacienda Sarria. His daughter, Nadine Doyle, ran the event business that declared bankruptcy. Both Ron and Nadine are identified as president and vice president of Ontario Limited, the company that is to be paid back first. Mike Braga, BDO's senior vice president, said it is possible for one company to declare bankruptcy and another to be identified as a secured creditor in that bankruptcy even if the companies share the same director. The two companies are to be treated as separate entities in the trustees' investigation. In the coming days, BDO will release a preliminary report to creditors to lay out their first findings in their investigation into how this bankruptcy came about. In November, BDO will host a creditors' meeting where the report will be discussed. Efforts have been made to reach Nadine Doyle for comment on this story and previous stories, but these have not been successful. Ron is also the owner of Lot, a former industrial building transformed into a massive event space on Ardell Place. The property is up for sale for several $1 million. Most of the debt identified in the initial bankruptcy documents is related to couples who are listed as unsecured creditors. Margarita Iravaglia and her fiancé are among those who lost their deposits. When she first heard the Hacienda Sarria was closing, she thought it was a sick joke. She was scheduled to get married at the venue next summer and renegotiated their contract in late September. When her maid of honor shared the story with her over social media, she couldn't believe it. Everything they had planned, all the vendors lined up, and even the color scheme and cake design were based on this venue. It honestly feels like I built a house on a foundation of garbage. It feels violating and it feels awful, she said. The pair put down a deposit that was expected to be held until their wedding day. They don't know if they'll be able to get that money back, but they plan on fighting for it. A growing number of couples who were scheduled to get married at Hacienda Sarria gather on social media with plans to launch a legal battle if they don't get their deposits back. So far, there are between and couples represented. Iravaglia said they chose the venue because there's nothing like it in the province. There are estate venues in the US, but they won't be crossing the border with the ongoing pandemic. She said, "At this point, just give me back my money so I can wash my hands and I never, ever have to hear of this place or these people ever again." A group for couples impacted by the bankruptcy has been growing, sharing stories and preparing for a potential lawsuit against Hacienda Sarria. Mitch Taylor, the group's admin, said he and his fiancée Laura Krelling were scheduled to be married at the venue next fall. They lost their deposit and could potentially lose more if the other vendors they've signed with aren't able to make their new venue and date work. Taylor said the group lost money to this company. He said there are still dozens of couples who lost money, but are not yet part of the private group called Hacienda Sarria Closure Impacted Couples. In preparation for the creditors' meeting scheduled for November, BDO Canada is to release a preliminary report highlighting their first findings regarding the Hacienda Sarria estate. Taylor said the online group has lined up a law firm to launch a commercial lawsuit against Hacienda Sarria if the company doesn't pay back the deposits. But he's hoping it won't come to that. "We don't want to get into a lawsuit. At the end of the day, we only want our deposits back," he said. 25 employees were listed in the initial list of creditors. The documents show they're also owed money. A total of 9 area high schools have paid deposits to secure the venue for next year's prom. The list of creditors also includes the Canada Revenue Agency. Hacienda Sarria received an interest-free loan from the Canada Emergency Business Account (CEBA). It also owes money to what appears to be a CR program account. Rachel and her fiancé are among the group looking to get their deposits back. She said that the first week after finding out about the closure, she was sad and angry. She and her partner are taking a break from wedding planning now, traumatized that this could happen again if they were to put down another deposit elsewhere. Joining the group and sharing stories with other couples who have lost money has brought some level of relief, she said. But in those conversations and looking at the bankruptcy documents and seeing how few assets are listed leaves her and others wondering how this closure came about. Thank you for watching our free video. If you liked it, make sure to click the like button for more videos in the future.